Hello students, how are you doing today? I'm so happy to see you again, and I look forward to giving you something useful that you can learn, that you can take back and use with regards to the English language. Let's see, who do we have in YouTube today? We have two people viewing concurrently. I see your message, Justin. And who's the other person? Why don't you say hi? Leave a message saying where you're from. Three people now. So two of you who have not left a message, please leave a message and say hi. And also say where you're from. So today our topic is passive voice. And let me get on with it. And of course, before we begin, I would love to hear a little bit from you. And I want you to write in the live chat. So YouTube has this live chat option. So please write, what is a good thing that happened to you recently? Sesuatu yang baik yang berlaku kepada Anda kebelakangan ini. Alright, write that one thing in the live chat. Hello Faridzuan, I see your message. Yeah, so there are two people right now, Justin and Faridzuan. Can you write down one thing, a good thing that happened to you recently? Nothing? Okay. Maybe you want to write this. Like, who is one person that you are grateful for? Write the name of that person in the live chat. Justin, you're funny. All right, so whoever it is that has been good to you, make sure that you let them know. Send them a short message telling them what the good thing that they've done in your life and how they have made a difference, and you will surely make that person's day much, much more brighter. Just like what Justin did for me right here in the chat. Okay, let's get started. So what is passive voice? So here are two examples. Let's read them together. So A, Sally slices the onions thinly. B, the onions are sliced thinly by Sally. Now these two sentences mean the same thing. It's just that the ideas were rearranged. So I think you can figure it out that A is an example of an active sentence and B is an example of a passive sentence. So if you already know this, great. I'm going to do some explanation to help everybody be on the same page, all right? So when you look at a sentence in English, you have a subject, you have a verb, and then you have object, right? And this is the adverbial, which we're not going to look at. So an active voice sentence will have a subject, verb, object arrangement. Now okay, let me write it down here. So this is active and this is passive. So what happens when you change from active to passive is you switch places, they switch the subject and the object, the places they are put in the sentence. So the object goes to the back, subject goes to the back, and the object comes to the front. So now the object becomes the subject, and this is still the verb, and this is the agent. So this is no longer part of the main stem of the sentence. So this is the doer, the person doing the action. This is the doer. And now the verb, this is the active verb. And this is the passive verb. And then the object becomes the subject of the passive sentence. Okay? So why is there... Okay, another app loaded for no reason, so I'm going to shut it off. And so I can focus. So why do we have this kind of weird thing? Like, why do we want to rearrange a sentence? I'm going to explain that in the next part of this lesson, but I want you to know that the difference between an active and passive is not meaning. The meaning is exactly the same. The difference is in the active voice, the doer is the subject, but in the passive voice, the object, that means the thing that is having an action done to it, becomes the subject. And the verb also has to change. The doer gets a by in front, and the verb changes from active to passive. So I'll show you a list of examples of active and passive verbs in a bit. So why do we change from active to passive? What is the reason? So I'll show you the reason in 2 sentences. So this is the first sentence. Let's take a look at this, and then I'll explain why this needs to change from active to passive, and I'll show you how it's done as well. So when I was visiting Paris, somebody bumped into me. You see this underlined part? Now, can you write the passive form of this sentence inside the chat? Can you do it right now while I yappity yak away and explain? So when you look at this sentence, you don't know who bumped into me because there's so many people in Paris. And so this subject really the doer really carries no significance. And if you're a really good writer, you would decide like, okay, I don't want to put the doer in this sentence because the doer is insignificant. It's just taking up space for no reason. Therefore, when you have a doer that is unknown or not specific, for example, somebody, they, people, we, mentioning this person is not important, then you should change the active form and use a passive form instead. So what does it look like? So I'm going to change the sentence that's underlined. So somebody bumped into me. The subject is somebody. Bumped into is the verb, and me is the object. Okay, so I bring me to the front. When I was visiting Paris, so this is the active form of this verb. Let's make it passive form. So passive form usually means like making it take it one step away. So I was bumped into. So because somebody, you don't know who this somebody is, there's no need to actually mention somebody by somebody. So let's just keep it there because the doer is unknown or not specific. It's not important. So when I was visiting Paris, I was bumped into, rather than saying somebody bumped into me. Okay, that's why we need the passive form. Another reason why we need the passive form is shown in this example here. Jasmine risked her life to save a bus of kindergarten children. She was celebrated across the country. The king awarded Jasmine the Medal for Bravery. So can you try and make the underlined part into a passive form inside the live chat while I explain why? So this paragraph here is talking all about Jasmine. And then the last sentence suddenly switches to the king. So very good writers, they do this. They realize that, okay, I want to keep the flow of this paragraph. I want to keep the focus on the subject, which is not the subject, but the focus on Jasmine. So now when this sentence starts with the king, it doesn't focus on Jasmine, it focuses on the king. So I want to bring Jasmine to the front. Even though Jasmine is the object, I'll use the passive form to bring the object to the front as a subject so that the whole paragraph can be completely focused on Jasmine. All right, so another reason to use passive form rather than active form is because we want to focus on the object. We want to focus on Jasmine in this example here. So in this paragraph, the king is not important. The most important is Jasmine. Therefore, we will move Jasmine to the front. So the king is the subject. This is the verb. Jasmine is the object. And this is the second object. All right. So we move Jasmine to the front. Jasmine. And then we change the verb to the passive form. We move it backwards. We make it a little bit more past. Was awarded. And then we continue with the rest of the sentence. The medal for bravery by the king. Okay, so the subject, the king, goes to the back. And this paragraph right now is completely focused on Jasmine, which makes the coherence and the flow of this paragraph much, much better. So if your teacher has criticized your writing for not being coherent, not being organized, and you've received comments where people say, when I read your work, I feel like I have to stop and read and think, stop and read and think. Maybe this is the reason why, because you need to focus in each paragraph onto the main point. So in this paragraph, it's all focused on Jasmine. So Jasmine is the main point. So you can't have a sentence in this paragraph where another person takes the subject place in a sentence, right? So that's why you need to know how to do passive. So these are the two main reasons why people use passive form instead of active form. Now, you must be wondering, like, these verbs, like how do you change the verbs from active form to passive form? So here's a table for you to read. And you can actually do passive in all of these different tenses. And you can even use it with modals. So let's just quickly go through this, and we get to practice this a little bit more later on when we do the exercises. Hello, Nana. I see your message. All right, let me just look at the live chat to see if anybody got the passive forms right. Okay, so Justin, you got the first one right. And yeah, the second one as well. Except the first one, you don't need to mention the somebody because it's not specific, as there's no value in mentioning by somebody. And the second one, you want to consider including by the king because the king is someone specific, it's someone big, it makes the award look better. So you will want to mention the king. Okay? And if you guys have any questions, just type it into the chat. When I'm done teaching, I will go and look at the questions. So let's look at the forms, okay? So if you have a simple present form in the active verb, passive form would be adding a be in front, past participle, and the be is in present tense. Present continuous, am catching becomes am being caught, is catching becomes is being caught, are catching becomes are being caught. Present perfect, has caught, have caught becomes has been caught, have been caught. For simple past, caught, was caught, were caught. So if you look over here, when you change from active to passive, you add a be. This one has a be plus be, verb in front. Okay, so the being, the am is are, these are be verbs. So you add an extra one in front. You see, has been, have been. So these are be verbs added to the front of the main verb. Okay, so if it's simple, if it's present, then it's the be verb is in present tense. If it's past, then the be verb is in past tense. If it's continuous, then the be verb carries the continuous ing. And even for modals, you add the be in front of the verb and before the modal, and after the modal and in front of the verb, the main verb. Okay, so this is how you can change from active to passive. So this, like for something like this, your primary school teacher would probably have given you like pages and pages of practice. If not, you can always get some of these grammatical exercise books and practice this, because in order to change from passive to active accurately, you really need to practice. So we'll do some practice, a little bit of it right now. All right, so let's look at this one. Exercise 1. Identify the sentences in the passive voice by placing a tick in the box provided. So those of you who are on YouTube, I want you to write down the number of the sentences you think are in passive voice and then enter it into the chat. Can you do that? I'll give you 2 minutes. Oh man, I forgot to bring some water. I'm already feeling like thirsty. Talking too much. All right, so write down the number of the sentences that you think are in passive voice. So I'll give you a clue. Look for the be verb in front of the main verb. All right, 1 more minute and then I will carry on. All right, looks like Justin's written his answers in the chat. There's another one more person here in the YouTube live. So I'll give this person another 10 more seconds and then I have to carry on. Okay. All right, let's look at number 1. He was made president last year. So made is the main verb, and look at this, there is a be verb in front of it. So you know that this is the passive form of the verb. And of course, he can't make himself president, so someone else did it. This is passive. All his friends laughed at him. So his friends are the ones that laughed, so this is active voice. My watch was lost. So the watch can't lose itself. You lost it. The person that's my here lost it. And there is a be verb in front of the main verb. So this is passive. He was refused food. So there's a be verb in front of the main verb. He was refused food. That means somebody refused to give him food. It's passive. My windows were broken by the boys. You see the by, you see the be in front of the main verb. Let me just underline that. So this is passive form. 6, I'm obliged to go to the dinner. I am obliged to go to the dinner. So you see the be in front of the main verb. So somebody is obliging you, or let's say somebody is making you, forcing you to go to the dinner. So this is passive. The trees were uprooted in yesterday's storm. So were is the be verb in front of the main verb. So the trees can't uproot themselves, so something else did it, which was the storm. So this is passive. The teacher was pleased by the children's cooperation. Wait a minute. All right, sorry. Yeah, 6. Oblige is an adjective. I apologize. The trees were uprooted in yesterday's storm. The teacher was pleased by the children's cooperation. The teacher was, you see the be in front of the main verb. So this is passive. So the children's cooperation pleased the teacher. I wrote to my brother last week. So this is active for sure. There is no be verb in front of the main verb. The people learned that war was around the corner. The people is the subject, learned is the verb. So this is active. We elected, yep, so subject and verb, we are the ones that are doing it. So this is active. His wife has gone to the bank. His wife is the one that goes, so this is active. You must take care. So you are the one that has to take care. You are the doer. So this is active. The books must be kept in the library. The books must be kept. So the books can't keep themselves. And kept has a be verb in front. So this is passive. Students have been inoculated. So the students can't inject themselves, right? So there's a be verb in front of the main verb. So this is passive. All right. Let's see, what did you guys come up with? So Justin, 1, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. Yeah, so you got most of it right. You got an additional 2 in your answer. Moving on. So exercise 2, study the pictures below and complete the sentences using passive verbs in the past tense. All right, so you can choose your own verbs and do them in the past tense. All right, so if you look at the examples here, we got to do it in these two ways. Was catching, or had been caught, or was caught. Okay. So why don't I really don't know how to get you guys involved in this, because this involves a lot of writing. Tell you what, so as I'm explaining, try to write down as many of these sentences as you can to check whether you got them right. Okay, so do these, look at the picture and try to complete these sentences with passive verbs in the past tense. Okay. So I'll give you about 1 minute head start, and then I will start explaining the answers. Okay, so I've got quite a few answers in the chat already. Let's just go through them, okay? So when you do exercises like this, you got to think in a very schema way. So this car was, this is driving, right? Was driven by a woman. This boy is kicking the ball, right? This boy kicked the ball. The ball was kicked by the boy. The hunter shot the lion. The lion was shot by the hunter. A tree fell on damaged, was hit. Let's say damaged. A car was damaged by a falling tree. All right, so I'm looking at the YouTube answers. Number 1 is okay, Justin. But you don't need the being. Number 2 is okay. Number 3, you don't need the being. Number 4, the car was crashed. When you say the car was crashed, when you say that, it sounds like somebody drove the car and crashed into something. The car was crashed. So we should do it like this. The car was damaged. The thief. So the policeman the policeman chased the thief. The thief was chased by a policeman. Let's see, what did you write? The thief had run away. No, the chase is happening here. So look at this one. So the boy is painting the picture. So the picture, It's not painting. This is like drawing or colored. The boy colored. The boy drew. The picture was drawn. Is that how you spell it? By the boy. What's this? The stone. The stone hit the woman. Somebody threw a stone. Somebody hit the woman with a stone. Okay, let's do it like that. Or a stone hit the woman in the head. A stone hit the woman. The woman was hit in the head by a stone or by a rock. And the woman was injured. Okay, that's okay. The picture was drawn. You don't need the being there. Let's look at 8. All the milk. The cat drank all the milk. All the milk was drunk by the cat. James, the dog bit James. James was bitten by a dog. Let's see. What did you write there? James was bitten. Yeah, okay. And all the milk had been drunk. Okay. Yeah, so you don't need the being. You don't need the being. Unless, like, you know, the original sentence has the being for some reason. Then you do it. Otherwise, just keep it simple. Like these here. All right, moving on. So exercise 3. Change the following sentences from active to the passive form. Sometimes the agent is not given if the doer of the action is unknown. For example, the child was knocked down. So somebody knocked down the child. So change it from active to passive. Okay. All right. So in the same way, I'll give you 1 minute head start to write the passive form of these sentences here into the chat, and then I will go through them, and as I go through them I will check what you have written in the live chat. Okay, so 1 minute from now, go ahead. Okay, so let's do the first one. Our computer keeps the information. So information first, the information, and then the verb, change it to the passive form. The information keeps, so this is present tense, is kept. The computer doesn't do it, so you can't say by our computer. You say in or on. Kept in our computer. Let's see. Yep, Justin, well done. If any of you, the others, want to write, you can go ahead in the chat. The bird died after the cat caught it. So, subject, verb, after the cat caught it. Okay, so I think you can change this last part here. So the cat, subject, verb, object. Number 2, the bird died after it was caught by the cat. Let's see, what did you write, Justin? Yes, well done. Number 3, someone chopped down the tree. The tree was chopped down. Right? So you don't need to say by whom, because you don't know who it is. They now use ICT for the teaching of science and mathematics. So use ICT as the subject. Huh? Okay. ICT, so used, is now used for the teaching of science and mathematics. All right, let me just write the whole thing. All right, let's see what you write. Yep, well done. 5, the children are chasing the dog. So the children are chasing the dog. The dog is being chased by the children. What did you write? Okay, so Justin, the dog is singular, so you can't use have. And this is the ing here, present continuous. So you just add the be in front. Is being chased. Okay. What you wrote there, the dog has been chased. It changes the grammar. The women have chosen the dresses they want to wear. The women have chosen the dresses they want to wear have chosen. The dresses have been chosen. By the women. Actually, let's change this. So the women, you need to mention the women first. The dresses the women want to wear have been chosen by them. Okay, let's see. The dresses the women want to wear have been chosen. Okay. Randir gave Susanna the book. Okay, so Susanna was given the book by Randir. right? Yep. Justin, you try to use the by when it comes to like useful information being added to it. 8. Students can take food from. Oh, you have the exercises, huh? You're going all the way to 18. Students can take food from home to school. Students can take food from home. Food. Oh shoot. Food from home can be taken to school, and because students is not specific, there's no value to it, you don't need to write by students. The people will welcome the Prime Minister when he visits them. The Prime Minister will be welcomed when he visits. Right, let me be welcomed by the people when he visits them. Indicate that you have to go up. All right, 10. The boys were crossing the road when the car hit them. The boys were crossing the road. All right, let me see, number 9. Yep, the Prime Minister will be welcomed when he visits the people. Yeah, that's acceptable because the people is not very specific, so you don't necessarily need to use it, but I just want to use it to show. All right. The boys, oh gosh. Were crossing the road when they were hit by the car. When they were crossing the when the car hit them. The boys were crossing the road when the car hit them. When the boys were crossing the road, they were hit. Yeah, similar to what you wrote, Justin. Okay, so there are 20 of these here. Let's go and finish them off. You should not kill tigers as they are becoming extinct. Tigers should not be killed as they are becoming extinct. Man is encroaching into their living space. Their living space is being encroached into by man. So 11, Justin, your 11 is correct. 12 is not. They are renovating their house for Christmas. Their house is being renovated for Christmas. Just in time. Christmas is soon. I saw him opening the door into the room. So you have to write the I saw first. I saw him. He was seen opening the door into the room by me. One cannot gather grapes from thistles. One cannot gather grapes from thistles. Grapes cannot be gathered from thistles. Looks like it's just you and me here, Justin. Where are my students? Okay, your 14 is right. Grapes cannot be. Yep, your 15 is right as well. They laughed at his warnings and ignored his advice. All right. His warnings were were laughed at. And his advice, actually, you can just go straight to ignored, or you can say was ignored. So, brackets here. The legend tells us, all right, let's look at 16. Yep, all right. The legend tells us how Malacca obtained its name. We are told how Malacca obtained its name by the legend. Okay, by the legend. London will host the next Olympic Games. The next Olympic Games will be hosted by London. London. I'm going on holiday. The fire damaged the building. The building was damaged by the fire. Someone had thrown cigarette butts there. Cigarette butts had been thrown there. Okay, 17 is good. 18, yes. Yep, 19 is good as well. His father took all his money from him as punishment. All his money was taken as punishment by his father. Oh, sorry, taken from him. Okay, your number 20 is fine. Yeah, I think this one you've done much better. Moving on. Exercise 4. Yeah, just in one-to-one teaching. Where are my own students? Where did you guys go? You asked me to change to afternoon time. I did. And where are you guys? Sad being a teacher in COVID-19 situation. Well, I'm glad I have at least Justin with me here. I'm not teaching to like the wall. All right, exercise 4. Read the sentences given below and correct them using the passive verb in the perfect and continuous form. So perfect and continuous. So what's perfect? Has had. This is continuous. All right. So Justin, you ready? I'll give you 1 minute to get a head start. So type out the answers for number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'll give you 1 minute and then I'll start explaining the answers. All right, you're very fast. So I'm just going to get started. Number 1, little Lulu is being carried by her father. So is been, not is been, has been, wait, this is continuous form. Oh, what was I thinking? Is being carried by her father. The parcel taken to the post office by Rahim. So this is had been. The parcel has been taken to the post office by Rahim. Lulu is being carried. Parcel was taken to the post office. Was taken. You have to use either the perfect or the continuous form. So your number 2 is not accepted, Justin. 20 people had killed in the explosion. Had been killed in the explosion. The school is kept clean by a team of workers. Is being kept clean. He has be refused admittance into the hall. So I think he has been refused admittance into the hall. The books had sold early in the morning. Had sold. Had been sold. Early in the morning. Let's see. Number 3, yes. Number 4, yes. Has. So let's just keep the original had been here. All right. Has been refused admittance, had been sold. Yeah, so your 5 and 6 is good. 7, he was being regarded as an imposter. He was being regarded as an imposter. Sounds like a game. Familiar? He is being called a victim of the scandal. He is being called a victim of the scandal. Number 9. Let's see what you wrote. He has been regarded. Yes. He is being called. Yes. All child abusers are being prosecuted according to the law. Are being. INJ. G. All child abusers are being. Yep. Let's see what you write. Are being. Yes. Last one. Nita promises we're keep during the time I knew her. Nita's promises were being kept. Has been kept. Were being kept. Were being kept. No. Has been kept. Has been kept. Have promises. Have been kept. Were kept. So that's it. You can't use were kept because you have to use either perfect or continuous form. Perfect form. Has had. That's the perfect. Okay, so there's no is or are in perfect form. Is or are is simple or continuous. Okay, Justin? All right, moving on. I think this is the last one. Is it the last one? Yippity doodah. Yes, it is. All right, exercise 5. Read the text below and fill in the blanks with the correct passive verbs. Use the simple present tense. So use the simple present tense. All right. Okay, so I'll give you, oh, right, you've already started. And there's another person here with us live. Hello, whoever you are, say hi in the chat. So Justin and I are doing this exercise and you can join as well. So just write down like what you think is the answer for number 1, number 2, and so on. Okay, and that person left. All right, just you and me, Justin. So how to make nasi lemak. 2 cups of rice. What'd you write? 2 cups are taken and washed. Actually, you don't need the are because you already have the are in front here. Are here. So are taken and washed. Then 3 cups of coconut milk or santan. 3 cups are added to the rice in a rice cooker pot. 2 6-inch long screw pine leaves. So 2 leaves are placed in the center. Some salt is added, uncountable. And the mixture is stirred. Okay, let's see. Are taken, are washed. Okay, number 2 is fine. Number 3 are added. Number 4 are placed. Number 5 is added. 6 is stirred. Okay, good. So far, so good. This is the pot. And after this, the pot is placed in the rice cooker, which is, so the rice cooker is switched on when the rice, simple present tense, is cooked. Let's see. This place is switched, is cooked. Yep. It is served with some hot anchovy paste or sambal. A hard-boiled or fried egg can be served with this one too. Yes. Finally, the rice is topped up with cucumber slices and roasted peanuts. You got it right, Justin. They are not separate ideas. What is separate ideas? All right. So yeah, if you look at this example here, the passive form is perfect for giving instructions on how to make things. Because you don't know who's gonna make it, who makes it doesn't matter. What matters is the instructions. For number 1 and number 2, they are not separate ideas. No, they are not. Because you're washing the same 2 cups of rice. You take it and then you wash it in close succession. Yeah, they are 2 separate ideas, but 2 different things being done to the same cup of rice. And so you don't need the 2 R's there. You can remove it if you want. You can put it there if you want to, but it's not necessary. Okay. All right. Looks like it's just been you and me to this whole hour. For those of you who are watching the recording, glad to have you too. I hope that you're my student. If you are, leave a comment, say hello. If you're not, say hello anyway. I would love to see whoever is watching these instructional videos and let me know if they have been helpful to you. All right, so next week is the last lesson and we'll be talking about connectors. You can, if you like to have online tuition classes with me, like Justin is currently taking, you can go to this website, bit.ly English with Jared. You can join the Discord community that we have with English learning students from all over Malaysia. You can join this link here, and I'll make this PowerPoint available in the Form 4 only channel, and I will upload the notes for next week there as well. You can join the SPM Telegram group, which is here. And yeah, class recordings are all available on my YouTube channel, bit.ly CMCOBIF4 from 4. Or you can come live on Tuesday at 1 p.m. Next week is the last class. I'll see you at 1 p.m. Okay, once again, thank you, Justin. To those of you who are watching the video recording, if you're my student at SMK Tabuan Jaya, I'm so glad, so glad that you're watching this. You're like the 1 in a million. And say hi in the comments. And those of you who are not from SMK Tabuan Jaya, but you're here and you want to learn English, say hi as well. And also like write down what other kind of contents that you want to see, stuff that can help you. And I'm so happy to be able to share with you what I know about passive voice. I hope that this has been helpful. If it has, hit the like, hit the subscribe, and leave a comment saying what else you want to learn about. Other than that, I guess that's it from me and from Justin. Superstar Justin, been here since the beginning until the end. High five for you, bro. Yeah. Okay, that's it from me. Have a wonderful week, everyone. I'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.